There are several myths about personal branding that cloud how people approach the topic. Many go about building reputation and credibility assuming a personal brand can happen overnight. They attempt linking personal branding to net worth, expect an online presence to have an impact, or think that just networking can lead to positive results. Among the myths include building a brand online, that being famous means that you will have a personal brand, that all it takes is to be visible to people, and that networking is the best way to build a personal brand. It does take a lot more. Research studies and reports indicate that people look for signs of trustworthiness, credibility, and authenticity every time you interact. Just like the way brands build trust and can lose it as quickly, the same practice applies for personal brands. As you can see from these research studies and media reports, very few people have considered even defining their personal brand or discover ways to carve their own niche. Although studies have shown that personal brands are more powerful than corporate ones, there is a limited understanding of how to go about establishing yourself in a crowded marketplace. Carving a niche and being your best in an evolving world can be challenging. Without a clear purpose and strategy for your personal branding journey, you can lose your way very quickly. The rise of personal branding is attributed to the erosion of trust in corporations and the shift in believing individuals more. Likewise, we hear more and more people starting their own enterprises, the one person firms. Personal branding's role is even more essential while building a career or even while networking. Without strong credentials, one can't be expected to be known as an expert, and not being able to establish your expertise means you won't be recognized or valued. Recruiters seek candidates that are tenured, committed, have proven skills, and also who have strong networks. The best way to approach personal branding is to go deeper into your area of specialization and be the best in your field. You can't be a jack of all trades and master of none. Jack Trout, one of the most credible voices in branding, sums this up well in his book on strategy. It means one needs to begin with a purpose in mind. You can write up your purpose in a single sentence about what you stand for and how you build expertise, add value, and reinvent yourself for the world. It can cover ways you will measure your impact. I recommend a three-pronged approach, which I call the 3C model of personal branding: clarity, commitment, and consistency, with the strategy to build expertise, add value, and reinvent yourself. The underpinning thread is communication that shares progress as you build your personal brand. So, how does it all work? Let's begin with building expertise. This is related to gaining mastery over one area and continually investing time and mind share. Writer Malcolm Gladwell writes in his book Outliers about being world class by growing in strength through deliberate practice. Adding value is about giving in ways that improve the lives of others. That can take the shape of knowledge or assets that you create that benefit society at large, or actions which you do that overcome gaps and makes the lives easier and simpler for people. Scholar Adam Grant in his book Give and Take makes a case for people to be givers rather than takers. Success depends heavily on how we approach our interactions with other people. Every time we interact with another person at work, we have a choice to make. Do we try to claim as much value as we can, or do we contribute value without expecting much in return? Reinventing yourself means that we keep our purpose alive and strive to be better every day. You need to constantly have your finger on the pulse in your area of expertise. Look at trends shaping the space and recalibrate your direction. Daniel Pink refers to Motivation 3.0 in his book Drive, where humans also have a drive to learn, create, and to get better in the world. Here is the look at the model which I spoke about. When one blends these with clarity, purpose, and focus, commitment, which means authenticity and credibility, and consistency, learning and growing, there is a much greater chance of succeeding with your personal brand. Like I said, the underpinning theme is communication, essential to keep sharing what your audiences need to know and seek their support and feedback as you go along. Are these three themes sequential? I would think of them as overlapping threads, although without building expertise, no one will value your contribution, and without establishing your credentials, reinventing yourself is much harder. A personal brand can be built as an individual or while you work in an organization. The opportunities to build a brand exist within and outside, so don't limit yourself while thinking about the possibilities. So, how does one know when a personal brand is getting built? The best way is to seek feedback and listen intently to messages that you receive. Do they relate back to your purpose and the approach? Are the messages aligned with what you want to convey? Do people seek you out on the specific domain you have expertise in? Tom Peters, whose article The Brand Called You originally coined the topic of personal branding, had this to say: you are a brand, you are in charge of your brand. There is no single path to success, and there is no one right way to create the brand called you. You need to begin today, or else. In summary, to build your personal brand expects that you build expertise, add value, and reinvent yourself in conjunction with the three pillars of clarity, commitment, and consistency. Building a personal brand takes time and means a lot of hard work. However, if you know how you go about the path, is a lot more easier. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this session, do look up my presentation on SlideShare or on other presentations on my blog at anisu.com, anisu.com. I'm interested in your feedback. If this resonates with your idea of building a brand, or if you have any other suggestions, please keep me posted.